Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of the subject of the Netflix documentary The Perfect Neighbor, Susan Lorincz. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. For those of you unfamiliar with this case, here's a quick summary. Susan Lorincz was known to frequently get agitated at her neighbors and her neighbors' children. She would often scream at them. She would get angry. She would call the police. What we're going to be looking at today actually is body cam footage from one of the times she called police. We're also going to be looking at her interrogation as well as when she was read her guilty verdict. During one of the confrontations with neighborhood children, Susan Lorincz threw a skate. It actually struck one of the kids. He dropped his iPad and ran home. The mother of that 10-year-old child, Ajike Owens, went over to confront Susan Lorincz and get her child's iPad back. With her 10-year-old child with her, was knocking on her door. Susan Lorincz responded by fatally shooting her through the door. Now, according to Susan Lorincz, she was being threatened. She feared for her life. We're going to look at the interrogation, and I'm going to show you why I don't believe that that's true. But now we're going to analyze some of the body cam footage from one of the calls police had gotten from Susan Lorincz about neighborhood noise, about children being in the wrong area, and so forth. All right, let's just jump right in.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Aggravated.
Okay, so what's going on?
Okay.
This is the police responding to one of many complaints made by Susan Lorincz.
Okay. I've got young ladies who just keep coming by and think it's hysterical while I'm working to bring their animals,
Common area.
but they don't live here.
If they live in the park and they just cut through the parking lot?
No, they're not in the parking lot. They're on the park.
So you're already seeing that her body language is very connected to how she's feeling. Some people try to hide body language. Hers seems to be very pronounced.
They're on the grass.
That's technically part of the parking lot. So unless they're like in here or...
Now watch how she looks at the officer when he makes a point that goes against what she's saying.
That's technically part of the parking lot. So
She just stands and stares. And the goal of that is to intimidate. She wants to be emotionally intimidating. Now, obviously, law enforcement's not going to be intimidated by this, but that's the attempt. It gives you an idea of what she's like with everybody else.
unless they're like in here or
But this is
in this
all
grass.
part of the whole thing is private property. You understand this whole... All right.
You see the hands moving out. When we're feeling something really strongly, we do tend to use both hands. We do tend to try to connect with the world around us in this way. So as she's moving her hands around, it does make her continue to feel more powerful as she's saying, this is all private property. She wants to take up as much space as possible right now.
This whole development is private. Even the road is private. Okay? I have my real estate license, trust me. This is all private. Even though
And you hear the arrogance with that. I have my real estate license, trust me. She's trying to educate the officer just because the officer has now set boundaries with her and said, what you're talking about is not a part of private property. It's on the road or something like that. So she's trying to basically make her case right now.
you understand this whole... All right, this whole development is...
See, you understand. If you just listen to what she's saying, she's trying to dominate right now.
You understand this whole... All right, this whole development is private. Even the road is private. Okay? I have my real estate license, trust me. This is all private. Even the road is privately owned by the owners in this development. Okay?
So you notice that she does two things right here. One is she's speaking slowly and precisely as a way to patronize the police officer. In addition to that, you're going to notice that she keeps looking at him to try to hold him accountable, to make sure you're hearing every single thing I'm saying because I'm right and you have to listen to me.
Have sole control over the parking lot. There's 4 people here.
Yeah, but those children don't live here. I mean, they literally live...
So watch this facial expression right here. This is the way, what we do when we're very dismissive of something. Just watch this.
Yeah, but those children don't live here.
That look right there. It's meant to be a look of disgust, the corners of the mouth going down, the squinting. She is disgusted by this idea. She does not like the idea that what she's saying right now is not being taken seriously.
Over the parking lot. There's 4 people here.
Yeah, but those children don't live here. I mean, they literally live across the street on the other side. They don't...
I understand what you're telling me.
And then watch, she bares her teeth after this. She exposes her teeth. We do that when we're feeling very angry, almost rageful, actually.
Live across the street on the other side. They don't...
I understand what
See, there's the seething anger coming through.
you're telling me, and I get it.
Right, and now you can see her rubbing her forehead. We do this when we're in very intense distress. This is a very strong way to relieve stress and wanting other people to see that we're doing that. That's one of the things about this type of body language. It's voluntary in the sense that we're doing it. It's involuntary because we don't necessarily know why we're doing it, but we know that it signals how much distress we're in. She's trying to show the officer how frustrated she is right now.
They don't.
I understand what you're telling me, and I get it, but you don't have sole power to say, hey, they can't be in this parking lot.
But he's asked them to leave. I mean, you can call Charles. I mean,
I'm just telling you it's trespassing. It's the first time's civil because it doesn't become criminal until they're warned.
okay, but he's already told them no trespassing.
Who's he?
All right, and he's just trespassing right now.
Can I talk to you for a second? When are you done?
And you can tell by the way that the officer is responding to her, he's not particularly enjoying this interaction either.
Trespassing right now. He's trespassing.
He came over to come ask us a question.
And he's been
What do you need us to do? What do you want us
All right, now you just saw her body close up. So somebody comes over to ask a question, and now she's accusing them of trespassing. As soon as the officer continues to set boundaries with her, immediately she closes up. Now, sometimes when people cross their arms, it's for comfort. Clearly, based on the context of this situation, this is a defensive posture.
He's trespassing right now. He's trespassing.
He came over to come ask us a question.
And you can see her nostrils flare right there as well. Watch this.
He's trespassing.
He came over to come ask us a question.
Now you can see her nostrils flare to take in more oxygen. Now this happens when we're starting to feel really, really angry. This is actually a sign that somebody could attack. Now, obviously not in this situation because it wouldn't make sense that she would attack law enforcement. But if you're in a situation where volatility is building and it's a confrontation with somebody, when you see the nostrils flaring like that, you start to get concerned that there might be an attack coming.
And he's been
What do you need us to do? The only thing I can suggest would be maybe try and soundproof the room so they don't hear the phone call. I'm trying to get you to stop.
See the squinting of the eyes? We do that when we hear things that we don't like. Not having absolute control in this situation just seems to be incomprehensible to her.
Options. I can't control every.
And then there's this facial expression right here with her mouth that shows disapproval.
I'm trying to give you options.
That's a look of disapproval right there.
I can't control everybody.
So a second ago when she told the neighbor that they were trespassing, this is the neighbor. The police are talking to this neighbor right now.
And I was trying to reason with her one day because we were all playing here. You know, the kids, everything jumping. All right, let's go. She said, hey.
I'm getting too much feedback on the phone from the dog.
I'm sorry?
Go someplace where he's not barking.
So this is more behaviorally focused than body language. Obviously, her body language is connected to that. She's trying to signal to the police to get off the property. She feels it so strongly, she just keeps waving her arms while she's saying it. There's no tact, there's no politeness, there's just an absolute desire for complete control right here, even after she's the one that called the police. So anything that is hearing any noise whatsoever seems unacceptable to her. So this does seem to give us a really good idea of what she's like. If she's like this with police, you can only imagine what she's like with everybody else. As AI becomes more and more a part of our daily lives, privacy is going to become more and more of an issue. That's why today's video is sponsored by Venice AI. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, has said that ChatGPT will get to know you over the course of your life. When you consider that ChatGPT also has a former director of the NSA on their board, it all starts to get a little bit more concerning. Fortunately, there's a solution, and it's called Venice AI. Venice AI lets you use AI without handing over your sensitive information. Their founder, Eric Voorhees, is a leading crypto entrepreneur known for advocating for individual financial control and user privacy. Venice utilizes leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, and image generation right to your web browser or via their app. And the best part, they don't spy on you or censor the AI. The conversation history is stored only on your device or browser. With Venice Pro, you unlock the full platform, including PDF uploads, unhindered image generation, and the ability to customize how Venice interacts with you. I've been using Venice AI, and it's a game changer. I can switch between different models, generate images that other platforms wouldn't, and even create custom AI characters to chat with. If you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or the government, you can get 20% off of a pro plan using my link, venice.ai/Dr. G. Visit Venice.ai today and start your journey with the future of AI. Remember, your data, your rules.
Hey.
I'm getting too much feedback on the phone from the dog.
I'm sorry?
Go someplace where he's not barking. Please.
See, just constantly swinging her arms to tell them to go. It's remarkable how agitated she is.
I'm getting too much much feedback. I can't hear my customers. Dog. Tapping.
It's a dog. We can't stop the dog from barking.
Yeah, but it's too much feedback. Can you please at least go someplace where I'm not getting too much feedback?
That's
All right. Well, you have a good one. Apparently, we can't stay in here and have a conversation with shade.
that's what I'm
All right, so I think we've had about as much of Susan Lorincz on body cam as we can take. So now let's watch part of her interrogation.
Okay, how did you know someone was there initially? Was it
There
because,
was a huge banging.
Okay.
They were just pounding at that door.
okay. So initially, there was no words, it was just the pounding?
Yeah.
That's what started
Yes.
the interaction there?
Yes.
And
So you can look at her body. It's pretty closed off, legs closed. She's holding onto her thumb, bracing herself a little bit. So there certainly seems to be some desire to be defensive at this point.
No. It was
several?
just bang, bang, bang,
Okay,
bang.
all right, and then you said,
So the way that she was moving her hand like that, so she's really feeling something right there. The more people move around, the more they are probably feeling what they're talking about. But there's something interesting in 1 second. Listen to this.
you
Who's
asked her
there?
who's
Yeah.
there? Okay, and what was said then?
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way?
So you hear how fluidly she said, "Why are you speaking to my children this way?"
And I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. You know, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys.
I don't know if you could hear the difference between the first statements and now. The first statement felt very fluid, was likely actually what was said. The second was quiet. It was also very stilted, the way that she said it. It felt like it was something that didn't come out naturally. So I think the first part was probably true. The second half, I think, was likely deceptive. Listen to this again.
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way? And
Everything up to that point may have actually been true. This part, I don't think so.
I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. You know, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys.
And now she's saying, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys. It shows no remorse for what happened. She killed somebody. And at this point, it sounds like she is blaming the mother for her own death. It doesn't seem like she is experiencing any sort of discomfort, remorse, or anything like that.
So.
And then what happened after you said to go away?
Go away, and then it got quiet for a bit. And then she started really banging, you know, just pounding on that door. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say?
I don't know,
Like
because
5?
Now, when he said, "How long is a bit?" would you say? Watch her mouth right here.
pounding on that door. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say?
Now, this is a look of fear. Corners of the mouth going down, the tension on the forehead. What we're seeing is that she does not like being asked certain specific questions that she hasn't already thought through. So being asked this level of specificity is causing her anxiety.
Seconds or 2 minutes? Or?
It was an extended period of time, probably 20 to 30 seconds,
Okay.
easily.
But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think she went away?
No, well, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
So as she's talking about this, you're seeing her brush her hair away from her face. This is starting to cause more distress. As she's talking about this, she may be feeling the pressure from law enforcement that she did not act in good faith.
She was just, you're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, you know, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you.
Okay, now you heard when she said, "I'm going to kill you," she got quieter when she said that. Now, we oftentimes see this in deception. When people are saying something that is a lie, sometimes they trail off a little bit. They say it quieter than everything else because they don't want to get caught in their lie. So they try to hide when they are lying.
Saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, oh, you know, and that's when
Well, you said there was like the...
And she started to trail off there. She wasn't making as much sense. Put her hand on her chest, trying to demonstrate how strongly she felt about this.
and then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being
no,
said.
because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking, basically. I'm sorry
Yeah.
if I...
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, you know, she's just going to do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that...
When he apologized, she says, "Oh, it's okay." She has a very entitled way of speaking to people.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
if I...
No, it's okay. I thought, all right.
And it's a certain tone that she has when she says it. And that's what's challenging about things like this, is that it's not necessarily inappropriate to acknowledge if somebody says, "Oh, I'm sorry," to be like, "Don't worry about it." But the way that she says it's okay, it puts her in a place where I think she feels more in charge in this situation than she is.
Your door, where were you at then? Did you go...
I think I went to wash my hands, honestly,
Okay.
you know, because I didn't know who was at.
So that's another term that you always have to be careful of. I went to wash my hands honestly. That's clarifying that, yes, I'm definitely being honest about this, but it also implies there are other aspects of things that I've said that might not be honest.
Honestly,
Okay.
you know, because I didn't know who was at the door and I didn't know. And then I was like,
Okay.
you know, so I went back and washed my hands.
Okay.
So now she's saying she didn't know who was at the door, but previously said she did know who was at the door. She was afraid for her life, but she chose to wash her hands. The story doesn't make any sense.
So that's during the time where it was kind of quiet, and
Yes.
you thought that maybe she went away. Okay. And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. Get off my porch. Get out of here. I'm not talking to you. Leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides
I have
Ajike?
no idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids?
Now, I want you to pay attention to this. You hear how quietly she said, I have no idea. And then she shook her head. Now, she's somebody that speaks with her hands when she's feeling very strongly. And the fact that one of these children was out there with her was an important detail. So her saying, I have no idea, I'm not sure that that's true. She stopped moving. She's not talking with her hands. She is shaking her head, but we're not seeing any other body movement. And then after she's done saying that, she sits very still, which once again is a frequent sign of deception.
Not talking to you. Leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides
I have
Ajike?
no idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah,
Or...
they were right by the, where the fence is, and then there's a sidewalk. They were right beyond that sidewalk, inside where it's.
You see how I'm talking about how she talks with her hands? This is exactly what I mean.
I was looking for my phone.
Okay.
So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking and I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Get out of here. And I'm like.
Once again, she's whispering this. When she's really feeling strongly about something, her voice and volume tends to go up because she tends to be more expressive about these things. Right now, she's saying, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. She's almost whispering it. She's saying it very quietly. Continues to suggest that what she is saying right now is in fact not exactly how it happened.
So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking and I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Get out of here. And I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders and the sliders always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard, the mirror on my wall was shaking.
Okay. So that first, I'm sorry to go back, but that first time that
See, she continues to focus on the fact that she was pounding on the door, not truly how she was afraid for her life. And this is what gets confusing when you're trying to separate when somebody's telling the truth versus when they're being deceptive. So her talking about fearing for her life or saying that she had threatened her life, that seemed deceptive. When she's describing the kitchen and talking about where things are, you see a lot more movement there because that's actually factual. So when you combine factual things with aspects of it that are deceptive, it can be a little bit confusing, but it seems pretty clear here that some of what she's saying does not seem to be true.
how long do you think that lasted before there was kind of the silence? I know you said she hit the door, you said who's there, and what was it said?
Probably 5-10 seconds she was pounding the first time.
Okay. And then when it started again, how long, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, but we'll kind of come back. When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
I don't
Oh,
know. Just
wow.
everything's kind of. It was a while. I mean, it was a while. I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, because I had called earlier, and no one was coming. No one was coming. I'm like, shit. I couldn't find my phone, and she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's literally going to come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it, and I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
Where was your phone?
I think it was in my...
That was also interesting. I wanted to make sure I called and said I shot rather than I wanted to call and see if this person needed help or called to make sure an ambulance got here. There was no concern for the victim.
How many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe the better word would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that 1.5 or 2 years?
2-3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over 1.5 and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure sidewalk. And
Yeah.
like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're going to come here. And
Sure.
She said, it's the only place my dog...
She is just constantly the victim of everything. Even in the case of someone who was shot and killed, she continues to point out, oh, they walked their dog near my house, whatever it is. She is always portraying herself as the victim through every aspect of this. It's remarkable.
Okay. What made you shoot that spot on the door? It sounds like you had some experience with the gun, so bring me to that moment what happened?
I grabbed the gun. I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, stop, 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 go away, move away. She wouldn't move away. Finally, I'm going to kill you, and that was the last time, and I just fired the weapon.
Okay, was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door. I knew she was at the door. Shot.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house,
Once again, when she's really emotionally connected to something, she uses her hands to play it out. So as you can see, that probably is exactly how she stood holding the gun.
Picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door. I knew she was at the door. Shot.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house, did the stuff inside that.
No sense of distress or anxiety talking about when she fired the gun.
Her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes.
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay, so you left the kitchen.
You'll notice she puts her hand on her chest. She frequently does this when she wants people to feel bad for her. So when she's talking about what a victim she is, you're going to see her do this right here.
You said about 2 to 5 minutes.
She just kept pounding it. Just kept pounding it and pounding it.
You so just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50? Like,
God, it had to be.
Now you see her rolling up her sleeves. Now this is significant when she's talking about this because before, now I didn't show this, but before the interrogation, she was rubbing her hands together, complaining that it was cold. Now she's starting to get hot. This suggests that she is starting to get anxious, that there is a reason that her adrenaline is really starting to flow as they're talking about this.
I don't know. I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and screaming and yelling.
See the rubbing on the forehead? These questions are making her feel very distressed. We do that when we're feeling extreme distress and concern.
Just remember her pounding and screaming and yelling.
And then she goes back to bracing her fingers afterwards because she wants to be believed. We're not seeing signs of anxiety that recalling that this information seems to be causing her. It seems to be more how she's responding to questions.
Which I counted 3. Now,
Okay.
if there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has led me to believe, as an investigator, that it was like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset. And
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in.
You notice she said getting upset, not getting scared, but getting upset. A very important distinction. Now we're skipping to the end of the interrogation when she's getting arrested.
all right, we're going to have you go with this deputy here.
no,
I'm sorry?
no,
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going on?
See how immediate that is, that loss of control. This is someone who has consistently shown through everything that we've watched that she wants absolute control. So being told something is going to happen that you don't want, she just immediately says no. It shows herself staying locked up, keeping her arms closed, staying in a defensive position. But an outright refusal from law enforcement for something like this is pretty unusual.
I'm sorry?
No,
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going
I
on?
just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're to that point where that's what's going to happen. Obviously, this isn't a conviction. This is you being charged, and then you're going to have your day
So you see her head hanging low like this. Now, typically we associate this with shame. Now, probably not shame for what she did, but shame for that she's about to get arrested.
in court to present your side of the story. Okay, so you're going to go with this deputy.
No, I'm not.
You're going to be booked in.
No, I'm not.
You hear that? No, I'm not. Not I don't want to, but no, I'm not. So she believes that stating this, there's part of her that believes that stating this so directly is going to somehow change the outcome.
And fingerprinted. They're going to take your pictures, and then you will have an arraignment in the morning.
I'm not going. I'm sorry.
There's a phone down there. You'll be able to call whoever you need to call, right there in booking.
I'm not going.
But, Susan,
As a wild amount of control to believe that you can refuse something like this.
we are going. There's no change in that now. You're under arrest. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her.
Yep.
Let's
Come on,
let's
Susan,
get you
stand up.
handcuffed.
Stand up.
No, don't touch me.
Susan,
Stand up, Susan.
don't,
No,
Listen,
sorry, I can't
It can
do
go
this.
one
I
of two
can't
ways.
do
It can
this.
go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go.
Now, this is an obvious sign of defensiveness. You've probably heard me talk about how covering your chest is a way to protect our vital organs, our heart, our vital organs, all of the important parts. So when people do something like this, is an extreme sign of defensiveness. Sometimes people do this unconsciously.
I'm so sorry. I
Susan,
can't
put
do
yourself in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there.
this. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Susan, you understand that from the point of the story that you've given us, that by refusing and resisting, that it's making you look bad, okay?
I'm
And
sorry,
I understand
just
your
can't.
reluctance to
I don't
want to
feel
go.
good. I just can't do
Okay,
this.
well, they have medical staff over there
As soon
that
as
can
you get over
assist
there, there's a
you.
nurse right in the front.
They can,
No.
you give them the
can't
prescription
do this.
medications that you're taking, all of that. They will assist you in making sure that you get the care you need.
No,
But
I can't
we're
do
going
this.
over there, okay? You're gonna
I
go
can't.
over there and,
I just can't do this.
okay, well,
Come on, Susan, stand up.
No,
if
we don't
we
have
have,
time to
seriously,
debate.
I can't do this.
See her closing her eyes. We do that when we think or see something we don't like. And right now, a fully defensive posture, eyes closed, just refusing to accept reality.
okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're
I
gonna be
understand
taken to
I'm
the
under
jail
arrest
one
now.
way or another, okay?
I had to skip a minute ahead because she just goes on with it for so long.
Forcefully bring you out there, that's what we
We're
have to
gonna
do
do
because
that.
we're obligated
I really don't want
to
to.
take you to the jail now, okay?
Thank you for
I'm
standing up.
sorry, I just,
I understand that.
So, put your hands behind your back for me.
I mean,
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't
What's so interesting is that we've seen people in situations like this that break down in tears, that get emotional. She's not showing any other emotion. She's just blocking herself off. That loss of control is agitating to her. She feels defensive because of it, but we're not seeing an outpouring of emotion, which is very interesting for something like this.
do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
But see, she's using legal language. I did not premeditate it or anything like that. So she did go in there with the idea of arguing against any sort of premeditated attack or that it was intentional or anything like that. So it's interesting that she has enough wits about her to say something like that. Now we're going to watch Susan Lorincz reacting to the verdict in her trial.
Verdict as to count one. We, the jury, find as to count one of the charge. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable
Remarkable. She has literally no reaction as this is being said, not even a blink.
charge? The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally used a firearm? Yes. So say we all, dated the 16th day of August, 2024.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's so peculiar about Susan Lorincz. This is someone who was so angry all the time. She was constantly harassing her neighbors and their children. She was so angry at any sound that would distract her, anything at all that would bother her. She would let everybody know. Additionally, she claimed to be so scared and so emotional when a neighbor came over to confront her about what she had done to the neighborhood kids. She shot her, and she was saying that she was so scared that's what she had to do. She was so afraid for her life. But now that we see her as she is being read a guilty verdict, we're seeing no reaction. She's someone who almost seems underfunctioning in terms of her reactions to many things. There doesn't seem to be much fear. There's been anger, certainly, during previous things that we've watched, but there hasn't been a ton of fear. What an unspeakably tragic situation for the victim and her family. Hopefully this has helped you better understand some of the behavior and body language that we saw. If you have any other thoughts or if there's anything else you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.